Like I said in the previous episode, this one belongs to my favorites of season 4 cause it sets the next steps towards the end in motion. And we have a lot of drama in this one. Emotions are all over the place and they really send us on an emotional rollercoaster with the fear of Jack losing his child. By the way, I love that they are putting us down memory lane here. Because it is the last season and story-wise they could not go back in time again. Like they did in season 1 and 2 with that flashback episodes. I never understood why they did skip this tradition in season 3. The idea of showing us Pascal and Conrad in flashback was promising. As I said in that episodes, it would have been nice seeing young Daniel and Margaux as teenagers. Could have been stuff for a greater exposition for their relationship in this season. Anyway, it was obvious that they would reuse old footage as some kind of a tribute in this season since it is the last. Most American TV shows tend to do so as some kind of thank you to the fans. But this opening was really heartbreaking because it captured with the messy combination how you would endure a nightmare. About Carl. I appreciate that they try to establish a relationship between David, Emily and Carl here because they soon are gonna to be a family. Which is no surprise given the fact that she and Jack were endgame from the start and she is Carl's godmother. So even if Jack dies she would always take care of that boy. Not only because she promised Fomander to do so. But what I really hate are these changing actors for Carl. When he was a baby this was not so much of an issue because we did not saw much of him. And if you are not the parents you would not see the differences between the babies in these short scenes. But now that we have all these child actors it is really hard to imagine him as the same boy. And besides of that toddler in season 3, they were all not that very cute. About David and Emily. What I also like in this episode and the following ones is David's problem to adjust being a father of a grown-up woman. For him it must be particularly hard to fight with Emily. 'Cause she has spent her whole life taking care of herself alone. She is just not used to having someone care about her. This mirrors again Nolan's and Aidan's approach to her in season 1 and 2. With both men who just wanted to help her, she was so stubborn and rejected their helping hand and comforting shoulder time and time again until they finally broke through her armor. Now David has to face this problem, and I like that again she is the one who totally breaks down at the end of the episodes. And seeks comfort in the arms of her father. Another thing, I know from him this sounds hypocritically but I love that he is trying to talk her out of taking revenge on Margaux. I mean it is as simple as that someone has to draw the line and give up. Otherwise the endless circle of violence goes on and on. About Stevie coming back. This was clever not only because she is a good lawyer. Her playing Mama Bear and trying to save Jack from sacrificing himself for Emily. Too, like Daniel, was fun to watch. 'Cause like we will see in the later episodes she is the only one who is on Jack's side in this and tells Emily the ugly truth I thought from the beginning when it comes to this relationship. And it was a great combination that Stevie is a sober alcoholic and Jack accused of drunk driving. All these different layers in one episode and storyline made this one really stand out. About Louise and Nolan again. I love how protective he is in this scene. Even if he had known that Louise was involved in his fall, I am sure he would have done the same. So I was very much disappointed when he suspected she could have really killed her brother to protect him. After all that he knows about her and her trauma with the night her father was murdered, he should know better. And since she threw the flash drive away, what motive did she have? His word would have stood against hers and anyone else, so why just let it be and throw him out of the house to lick his wounds elsewhere? About Emily going after Margaux's guy. Finally we get a little fighting scene with Emily. I think it is the last one since she did not get into a physical fight with the assassin White Gold, neither with Victoria. Funny that he has the gun and still does not take a stand with Emily. And I just love her remark that she wants to shoot him in the head. Proofs two things about Emily. First, that Jack is really her weak spot and she cannot see clearly when it comes to him, like when her father is involved. Second, that she has a remarkable control over her feelings, cause she is holding the gun right now and just have to pull the trigger. About David and Stevie. This was an obvious pair, so I was happy that they just made the two friends. Like I said, they all have to live with each other and try to get along when Emily and Jack are going to be together finally. David will be his stepfather and Stevie Emily's stepmother, so they need to find a way not going at each other's throat at the first opportunity. Though I like that they are showing this a process for Stevie, cause at first she is very harsh with both David and Emily. For good reason no doubt, and to protect Jack, but still she needs to readjust if she does not want to lose contact to her son and grandchild. About Emily's last takedown before the finale. This was bittersweet, cause for the last time every one of the original Three Musketeers were involved, Jack, Nolan and Emily. And like always, Emily kept it simple yet elegant. Emily's quote about her being Lady Justice was a little too under the nose, but I still like it, cause that is how she and Nolan see themselves. I must admit I missed those elaborate plots and revealings at the end of the episode. In season 3 we had neither of them after that big wedding event. And because this season changed the rules, we saw nothing of it on Margaux's part. Speaking about color schemes again, I like how they are all wearing partner look. Stevie and David go for blue, which is obviously to show how loyal they are to their children. Emily and Jack go for grey tones, which shows that they are not as innocent anymore as they were when they were kids. About Emily's idea of a truce. I knew this would not end well, cause it is revenge. We just waited for something terrible to happen, though I am sure we did not expect that. Anyway, I will never understand the fuss about this birth certificate. I mean, how does this prove anything? It is just a piece of paper that could be forged, and it just says who Amanda Clarke is, so it does not say anything about who Emily Thorne is. Sure that she has it is some kind of suspicious, but why not? Amanda was her friend and she is friends with Jack, her former husband. So what? And I am on Margaux's side. Her argument that this means nothing as long as she is not telling the truth about Daniel is just that true. Emily's argument that this would put more lives at risk is just ridiculous. Malcolm Black is dead and his daughter, too. Everyone knows that he was trying to kill her, Victoria and David. So what harm is there in telling the truth that Daniel saved her from getting killed by Kate Black? I mean, even if there was an investigation, I do not think that Jack would have held responsible for anything than just defending himself and everybody else from getting shot by a dangerous criminal. And if they would have come clean about Daniel, I am sure Margaux would have helped collaborating the truth about that night, so the case against Jack would not take a stand. Anyway, they had to find a way to make her go after Emily, so they stick to this silly plot. But I must admit, as much as I hate that Margaux has to endure this on top of all her misery, this miscarriage is an even better reason for hating Emily. And of course, by stating Emily did it on purpose, Margaux gives Victoria a new reason to go after Emily. I must admit her reaction to Emily is unfair but understandable, since it all began in the pilot with an ambulance and Conrad seemingly having a heart attack. And in season 3 she faked his Huntington disease. So it is not as far-fetched assuming Emily is behind this as well. Though again, Victoria is confusing Emily for her. Cause letting an innocent be collateral damage was her part throughout the show together with Conrad. About Nolan and Tony. Like I said, I was rooting for Nolan and Louise, so I was never a big fan of this rushed pairing. I really cannot see why they gave Nolan two love interests this season. Spoiler alert, and both are failing, so is ending up alone while Emily gets her happy end. What the fuck? Why cannot they make him stay with one guy? Even if I would prefer Louise, they could have made him be happy with Tony for more than just 2 seconds. Sure, it is very unlikely that they both are a good match, but he could have fun with him and go back to Louise later. I believe the whole problem with this little side plots were that they did not know if this was the last season or if Nolan got a spin-off, so I guess they tried to give us some unsolved storylines so that they would have new stuff for a 5th season. Sending Jack and Emily on honeymoon and making Nolan to the new lead was not a bad idea cause he is a fan favorite. About Margaux's loss and lie. I still cannot believe that she is lying about this. Is she just so revengeful and so far gone that she is using a miscarriage to take out revenge on Emily? Or is she really so blind that she blames Emily for this accident? Okay, she was the one who distracted Margaux with all that peace talk, but no one said she should go on the street to get a cab. I never understood this custom in the States. When we need a cab we call the service and wait until they arrive. Or we go at one of the stands where the cabs wait for new customers. In Europe or Germany no one would walk on the street to wave at a cab and no cab would stop at the street to let you get in. But they are pulling all strings here with bringing back the Requiem for Fomander. And like I said multiple times, they are doing a really great job here in making us see both sides. Cause in a way it is Margaux's and Emily's fault that she ran into the cab. They could have talked this through in a quiet environment than standing on the street, and Emily could have told her she should come back instead of standing on the sidewalk watching Margaux stepping onto the street. I mean, she knows this woman is pregnant and what a car crash could mean to her and her baby. So why is not waving the cab or at least trying to bring her back from the street? But telling Victoria Emily pushed her is a bold lie only to make Victoria join Margaux's vendetta. You could say Victoria must not have believed her, but assuming the worst of Emily has become Victoria's obsession. So Margaux can be positive that Victoria would believe it with no hesitation. Anyway, the only good this set in motion was that we got the final battle between Victoria and Emily.